with the
The key objectives of this dialogue was to have a candid and open discussion about debt, to understand matters debt, to work and to have a discussion with stakeholders and practitioners of debt. And the last one is to issue out a communique to debt issuers and creditors of Uganda on matters of debt, on the way citizens, intellectuals and technical people want to see the structure of Uganda debt take in the going forward.
Uganda's debt has been changing over the last few years, partly driven by what's been going on at the global level.
The revenue versus the domestic revenue has been a little constrained, and as you heard from the budget speech, the next financial year, where we have expenditure amounting to about 40.5 trillion, the domestic resources are about 20.9 trillion, and that inevitably leaves us with a gap, which gap has to be filled through borrowing.
We need to go slow. What is the rush for this accumulation? There is runaway accumulation of debt. What is the rush? Could we look at some other possible opportunities, scaling down, for instance, our recurrent expenditures, so that then we don't have to go for some of these funds?
The quality of the panelists we had a panelist from Ministry of Finance at a commissioner level, Commissioner for Policy and Issuance of Debt, who made a presentation and made us appreciate much more than we hear in the media. In the media, when people talk about debt, we just get negative stories, but there are positive parts of debt, which we have learned today, and from the professors of Makerere University, and from practitioners in the Parliament of Uganda.
How much you review it again? How much you review it again? How much you redact it again? And so on. So as long as the debt investment is whether these people who are lending to us are actually teaching us.
Do they really have the common good in their mind?
Why don't we do the first things first?
Failure by the central bank to control the interest rate, contingent liabilities. We need to look at that.
This has been a very, very mature discussion.
We have all agreed that debt is necessary. It's a necessary evil. We need it, but we need to enhance the quality of the institutions which manage and use this debt. That's what we have agreed on.
For the conversation of the Uganda Economics Association is important in that it is bringing us to appreciate that actually debt is political. It is a political question with two sides, the supply side and the demand side. The supply side are the lenders. If you're working with IMF, World Bank, in certain departments your job is to lend. You must ensure that somebody borrows. If you're working in any commercial bank, you want to ensure that somebody is borrowing. So there is a supplier of loans who wants to lend, but at the same time, there is on the side of there people who have deficits in terms of their own savings, like Uganda as an economy. So there is that demand side. And so this conversation is reawakening us to say, wait a minute, granted there is a supplier of loans and there is somebody demanding for these loans, how do we ensure that we strike an acceptable balance to ensure that when we borrow, we are promoting national development rather than short-term interests?
When we borrow, we should be prepared enough such that the percentage of the money we borrow remains in Uganda, and that one can be achieved when we build local capacity. We can only build local capacity if we don't have these sharks who come as middlemen of these companies. Because we have middlemen who have turned themselves into the giants of Uganda. A few come with these companies from China, from where, but they want to benefit as individuals with the Chinese.
The conversation is good in that it's addressing a critical question of debt management. The question is whether we are borrowing more than we should. The question is whether we are borrowing at concessional or semi-concessional terms or commercial rates. And the question is to say that, look, rethink what you're doing. Because when you borrow, it's using somebody else's money. And therefore that money must be used in a smart way. So the conversation is important in drawing the attention of duty bearers to understand that we need to interrogate the question of borrowing. We need to emphasize concessional borrowing and semi-concessional borrowing rather than commercial loans, especially for long-term projects.